A few months ago, I was asked to take a look at an existing inventory application, web application, that looked something like this. Now, obviously, I have replaced the real data with just some dummy data as to not review any sensitive information. But the app itself actually had 50 columns and 100 rows. I kid you not. And this is how end users, in this case, they were just a small group of pilot users because the application had not gone to full production yet. 100 rows. And the real thing actually was even uglier than this because it had real data in here, whereas I'm just putting in the the rows and column coordinates and some lorem ipsum data. And this app was actually designed, at least the UX design in Figma, was actually designed by a professional UX designer. And I spoke with the UX designer as to why we went with this format. And they said that this was what the end users, the pilot users, the handful of pilot users wanted. Now, keep in mind that ultimately this application is going to be consumed in the web browser within the company. This is a massive global company, uh, by a couple of thousand people to do their resource planning. And then ultimately, the end user are going to consume this app within a web browser, and it's going to be on Windows machine because most end user will have Windows machine, and they are issue either a 1920 by 1080 monitor or something slightly smaller on their laptop. I then asked the pilot users as to why they want the application to look like this when it is obviously very difficult to compare and contrast the data within this massive table. What the pilot users told me was that in the past, they gathered the same data from multiple applications, some of which are web applications, some are desktop application, and some are terminal application where they have no UI whatsoever, no GUI whatsoever. And then they also use data from Excel spreadsheets. So a conglomeration thereof. I told them that I have a better idea than this monstrosity. Allow me to present what I humbly think is a better alternative than to what I've shown you previously. Now, this is a finance slash investment application, web application, and I'm sure that if you work in the financial technology sector, you will know what company this is. But upon landing on the landing page, you are presented with a series of collapsible and expandable DOM component. And then you have some flyouts or drawers, if you will. Okay. You are not inundated or bombarded with a massive table of data. So the total value obviously is a line graph and is set to automatically expand upon landing, but that is completely controllable by the developer. And then for accounts and position, these are both HTML table and they can be expanded or collapsed. And you can add as many of these collapsible tables as you need to. Now, I think that this format is easier to digest than a massive piece of tabular data. As you can see, I have collapsed the graph element and expanded the accounts HTML table. And of course, you can expand all elements or collapse all elements, totally the user's preference. And if you need further interactivity with the end user, you have the options of modals. And let me just show you real quickly what the slide out or the drawers look like, giving you further interactivity with the end users. This is what the positions HTML table looks like when it is expanded. And you can have expandable and collapsible elements within expandable and collapsible elements. Now, I do realize that a majority of the time it comes down to budget and time. But in my opinion, in the long run, you actually save more money by doing it right the first time. I hope this video was of help to you. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.